The man, desperate for water, kept licking the ice shavings off the refrigerator walls. Once he had scraped them clean, he shoved his whole head into the fridge and began to cry. Feeling utterly defeated, it turns out, the man is a famous thief. He had come to this wealthy family's mansion to steal a famous painting. Just as he was about to leave with the painting, his accomplice entered the wrong password, causing a malfunction in the mansion's security system. Before the man could react, all the doors in the house slammed shut automatically, and an incensed alarm began blaring throughout the mansion. Helpless, the man had no choice but to destroy the control panel. The alarm stopped, but now he was completely trapped inside. Since the control panel was broken, it triggered severe consequences. While the man was desperately trying to break down the door to escape, the system quietly switched to heat mode, blowing hot air from the ceiling. He tried to drink some water to quench his thirst, but the water valves were all shut off. Even a stove wouldn't light. The only food left was a tiny bit of caviar in the fridge. As the temperature continued to rise, the man sweated heavily. After working for hours to break through the wooden door, he discovered there was still a steel door behind it. Frustrated, he tried calling his accomplice for help, but his partner had already abandoned him and escaped. There was no response from the walkie-talkie. Now, the man had no choice but to eat whatever he could find in the fridge to survive. He scraped off the mold from some crackers and ate them with the caviar to stay alive. The next day, he heard the sound of a helicopter outside. He rushed outside, but quickly realized the house was perfectly sealed, and he couldn't hear any noise from outside. The man began searching the house for any way to escape, but after hours of searching, he found nothing, not even a single edible fruit. He looked around at the house's structure and noticed that the glass ceiling seemed like the only possible escape. So, he began stacking everything he could find in the house, trying to reach the ceiling. After getting exhausted, he ran to the bathtub for a drink, only to find it filled with seawater completely undrinkable. He had no choice but to use ice cubes to cool down and quench his thirst. If he didn't escape soon, the man feared he might die from dehydration. He cut the usable rope and tied it to the shelf. But even with everything stacked up, he still couldn't reach the ceiling. The malfunctioning system had raised the room temperature to 38 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees Fahrenheit, making it unbearable. Desperate, the man crawled into the fridge to cool off again. After one more day of struggle, he had run out of food. He used a statue to pry open a storage freezer, only to find dog food and a single steak. Just then, he heard water spraying outside. He rushed out, realizing it was a sprinkler system for the plants. Now, he had both fresh water and food. It looked like he could last a bit longer.